As the controversy surrounding the Aukus deal continues to escalate, the EU chief Ursula von der Leyen has said that Australia has treated France in an absolutely unacceptable way. Meanwhile, the bloc's foreign ministers are meeting on the sidelines of the UNGA, the pact that virtually cancelled a submarine deal between France and Australia. The 27-member bloc president says that France was treated in an absolutely unacceptable way, saying that there were a lot of questions that need answers. This is the first ever reaction from the European Union regarding the matter. France, remember, had recalled its envoys earlier in a strong display of displeasure over the absolute secrecy of its allies regarding the deal. The Aukus agreement scuppered Australia's multi-billion-dollar 2016 deal to buy submarines from France, which had been personally backed by President Emmanuel Macron. France's foreign minister has branded the new agreement a stab in the back. The French President Emmanuel Macron is skipping the UNGA summit this year, but his office said this was decided prior to the Aukus controversy. However, when US President Joe Biden requested for a call with him, his office said it will happen in the coming days.
WION-USA Direct from New York with Susan Tehrani.
And with us is our correspondent Susan Tehrani, who is standing outside the United Nations headquarters and has been tracking all those developments for us very closely. Susan, if we were to talk about what the agenda will be looking like over the next few hours, what is expected in terms of the deliberations that will be taking place on a wide range of issues, be it climate change, be it countering China, be it anti-terrorism efforts as well?
Right. Well, you know, this is the 76th session of the UNGA, and while really the General Assembly started last week, this is the week of the high-level meetings, and we really see a focus on two parallel issues, climate and COVID, really how to put an end to this pandemic and move to a post-COVID world economically and, you know, a better, healthier planet as well. We saw what, you know, with a focus on climate, we saw the meeting being co-chaired with Antonio Guterres and UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson. Moving forward, we will see bilateral meetings with Antonio Guterres and Joe Biden, U.S. President. He's due to arrive later today in New York, but will only spend about 24 hours here in the city. The White House says it's due to COVID concerns, and he wants to basically be in and out. His speech is expected tomorrow morning on Tuesday. And while there is a lot of focus on the pandemic, the climate, and a lot of parallel meetings regarding these issues, which will, you know, I can talk about food insecurity, high-level meetings on food insecurity, sustainability on one hand, energy on the other, maritime security as well. But then you can't underestimate the geopolitical aspects of this high-level week as well. On top of it, Afghanistan, obviously. And, you know, for the Europeans, this AUKUS deal between the United States and the UK and Australia on the sidelines. We see the Europeans really trying to figure out whether or not they need to come up with their own strategy in the Indo-Pacific region and how to move forward with Australia, really, and see how they're going to put aside their own differences within the European Union moving forward, now that sort of France feels like it's left out in the cold with this submarine deal being dodged and the U.S. taking over. So a lot to talk about politically, geostrategically, geopolitically, but today really the focus was on climate. We really saw the SDG moment, the Sustainable Development Goal moment, which, as you know, is really something that was put forward a few years back. It's a blueprint for a greener, more equal world by the year 2030. Some say lofty goals, very ambitious. Nonetheless, the UN is sticking by it. The South Korean pop band BTS put on a performance. They are a UN favorite. They shed light on the importance of climate, of the Sustainable Development Goals. They partner with UNICEF to bring in a new generation of activists and raise awareness for that generation. And last year they broke the internet. This year we don't know yet how that performance was received, but we'll definitely keep you posted on that. I will let you know that I did see them leave the UN building today, and honestly, it was probably the least ceremonial exit that you would probably see from BTS anywhere in the world. There were some fans that managed to get to the UN perimeters to try to, wave at them a little bit, but that just shows how much security is tight around the UN premise this year, as is every year, but I think that this year is just so tight. It's so hard to get near the UN building in so many ways that even diehard fans of BTS couldn't get near, and they just sort of walked very quietly to their van and left after being here in the morning.
Right, on that note, high-octane diplomatic action expected, and BTS, in a way, setting the stage and setting the tone also in terms of the attention that has been received by the United Nations General Assembly session already, and that will, of course, be on top of the agenda through the week. WION will also be getting you those ground reports with the help of our team of correspondents on the ground. Susan, leaving it there for the moment. Thanks very much for those updates. WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.